Hi Year 8, I'm Mrs Collins. I'm going to talk you through why GCSE RS is a really great subject and also help you to understand whether it's the right course for you or not. So a few of the sorts of things that we might discuss are questions like, does being religious make you a better person? How did the universe begin? What happens when we die? Is abortion ever acceptable? Lots of ethical questions along these sorts of lines. We follow the Edexcel specification for GCSE, and the course is split into two halves. The first half is on Christianity, and the second half is on Islam. I was going to talk you through what's actually involved in each half of the course now. So the first half is on Christianity, and here we have four main topics. So the first one is Christian beliefs, and here we talk about things like, what do Christians actually believe about God? Where do these beliefs come from? How does it have an impact on their lives? And questions like, how does evil and suffering challenge belief in God? Can you still believe in God when there's evil and suffering in the world? We then go on to what's called a theme. So this is where we take some of the Christian beliefs and we apply them to ethical questions. So our next unit is on marriage and the family. And here we ask questions around sexual relationships. We talk about divorce, whether that's ever a good thing. And also a bit about gender equality. So are men and women equal? Should they be treated equally in society? Are they treated equally in society? And similar ethical questions. Our third unit is living the Christian life. So going back to content here in terms of what it means to be a Christian, how does that play out in everyday life? And finally, matters of life and death. This is one of my favourite topics because we get loads and loads of good discussion around medical ethics. So things like abortion and euthanasia, asking questions about whether life is ours to decide what we do with it, or whether life is for a greater purpose, and where the universe came from, origins of life, all those sorts of questions. So that's the first half of the course. For the second half, we look at some similar topics but from Islam. So the first half Christianity, the second on Islam. So again, just like we do in the first unit, we then do Muslim beliefs. So what do Muslims believe about God? What are their main beliefs and their statements? Where do these ideas come from? And also Muslim beliefs on the afterlife. So is this life our only life, or what happens when we die? Secondly, we take those Muslim beliefs and we apply them to the topic of crime and punishment. So here we're thinking about the idea of justice. What does it mean for something to be fair or just? When does somebody deserve a punishment? What sort of crimes would warrant a punishment? And also whether the death penalty is ever acceptable as a way to punish somebody for a crime. Our third topic is living the Muslim life. So again, like we did in the Christian half where we talk about living the Christian life, we now look at what it means to be a Muslim in today's world. So what does everyday life as a Muslim look like? How do their beliefs impact on the way that they live? And our final unit is peace and conflict. So here asking questions around war and violence, whether it's ever acceptable to go to war, whether war can ever be a good thing, and also having discussions around whether or not religious believers should only ever be peaceful. Are they ever allowed to fight in any circumstance? So that's the content. You might then be thinking how I'm actually assessed in religious studies. So it's 100% examination, it's all written examinations, and there are two exams which you'll complete at the end of year 11. Both of those exams are an hour and 45 minutes long, one on the Christian half of the course, one on the Muslim half of the course, and each paper has got 4 questions within it, made up of A, B, C and D questions, and they're worth between 3 and 12 marks depending on the question. What I would say is don't worry about the assessment, you get lots and lots of practice in class, lots of support with exam technique as well. Why should you choose religious studies then? What's it going to do for you for your future? So regardless of whether you are religious yourself or not, religion is all around us. 84% of the world's population claim to have some sort of religious belief. So it's something that affects the entire world. It also gives you the chance to form your own opinions about things and helps you to debate really big questions, things that you don't get a chance to talk about in other subjects. In terms of your future, gives you lots and lots of good knowledge and skills that will help with different careers. Some careers that people choose after doing religious studies might be in law or politics, sometimes going into teaching or journalism, business studies, all sorts of things that religious studies opens up for you because it helps you to develop arguments, helps you to communicate well, and helps you to think really clearly about what your own views are on the world. Finally, how do you know if it's definitely the right subject for you? Well, I've put on the screen here some of the things that it helps you to consider. If you are somebody who loves discussing big questions, you're open to debate, you're interested in how other people think, and you have yourself down as someone who's pretty open-minded and you like having those big questions about the things that really matter, then it's a really great subject for you. If you've got any questions, my email is on the bottom of the screen as well, so please feel free to email through.